Sup everyone, this is Draco Evolve. This is the match review. It has ended. Southampton 1, Manchester United 1, and what a disappointing performance. What a disappointing day. As you can see on the screen, that is the official lineup. So 4-2-3-1. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer went for the tried and tested, the usual 4-2-3-1. And we have lost against the Southampton team who played with 10 men in the last 15-20 minutes. We'll get into all the details, so we'll go through some stats, the match review in itself, what I thought about the match, what I thought about the certain players, what I thought about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's several decisions that I felt again is questionable. But let's dive straight into the match lineup. So I predicted that we played 4-2-3-1 in yesterday's match review, preview, if you've seen that. And I did not see Mata playing. I did not see Pereira playing, even though in Sky Sports the screen says Hogelbaum Pereira. I think that's his full name, isn't it? Andres Hogelbaum Pereira. That's quite funny. But I call him Pereira. But Pereira did play on the right side of that attacking quartet, if you want to say. Defensively, as expected, De Gea, Maguire, Lindelof, Bissaka, Ashley Young, Pogba and McTominay as holding defensive midfielders. Daniel James on the left, Mata on the number 10 position, Pereira on the right side, and Rashford up front. So for those of you guys joining in, thank you so much for joining in. I do appreciate you guys taking the time out to watch this match review. If you like what you see, smash that like button. If you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, speculation, match reviews, previews, analysis, stats, etc., then do consider hitting the subscribe button. But it has ended 1-1, and first half, I think first 10 minutes, I did say in my preview that we need to watch out for Danny Ings. They were out a couple of key players, but someone like Danny Ings who works his socks off, and we were immediately under pressure, right? In the first 10 minutes or so, we were pushed back. We were trying to play out from the back. It never actually worked out because the Adams, Ings, Buffal, they were just constantly harrying us. And I'll get to Lindelof performances right now. Lindelof had a worrying game. Even the last game, he was a bit worried. I was worried for him. He doesn't seem assured. He had loads of mistakes on him today as well. And clearly, Southampton preyed on that. They targeted Lindelof on that side. I believe I was watching the stats on the first half, and they attacked about 53% of the time through their left, which is where Lindelof is. Wan-Bissaka was an immense player, as always. Going forward, I still have my reservation on him, but defensively, he was amazing, and he didn't set a foot wrong. Maguire, usual. Ashley Young, usual. De Gea, thankfully, he didn't make a mistake. He did make a fantastic save, but the returning crossing, he couldn't do anything about. And Lindelof did get beaten for that header. And Paul Pogba, so he's had a poor game today. I'm not sure if his head is still in there. He's had a very poor game today. In his mind, I think he knows he's got a couple of days to go before the European transfer window opens. He wants to leave. He knows Madrid are interested in him. I believe he is not trying to deliberately throw away the game, but I think he is kind of second-guessing himself, taking too many touches, dribbling in that particular position where he shouldn't be dribbling. I don't know why he was dribbling there. And there was a time in the second half where in the space of 30 seconds, he lost the ball 3 times. Now, against quality opposition, we will be punished. And that should not simply be happening. McTominay had a poor game again. I felt he was run around. I think the 2 midfielders we have does not work for us, especially away, especially in the form that we're in, especially in the transition that we're in. I don't think it works for us. I think 4-3-3 formation is the way to go. It gives us a bit of protection, and it allows Pogba to stop dribbling from next to our centre-backs, right? If he dribbles up front, way up front, and loses the ball, which he is more than capable of, We've seen that time and time again. At least there isn't much of a danger, as opposed to him losing the ball right next to our centre backs, right? Pereira, right wing, had a poor game, had a very, very poor game. I do believe that Oli made the right decision in dropping Lingard. But to play Pereira in a right-sided midfielder where you're expected to create, not only create chances, but run in the wings, put those crosses in, I don't think Pereira was up to it at all. I think we had Chong on the bench. Why don't you give him a try? Just give him a try. Give the youngster a try. Play Pereira behind Rashford. He can create. He can be that number 10. Rashford had a poor game. I think his head dropped. I think since the last game and a half or so, even throughout the whole season, apart from the Chelsea game where he's started off really well, he's kind of dropped off, and it is worrying because Martial's not here. We don't have any other strikers aside from Mason Greenwood. Again, we will go through Mason Greenwood's performances. Star Wars Lounge, oh, thank you buddy for joining in. Hey mate, can't stay but smash the like button. I really appreciate you just dropping in anyway. Hope you have a good day. But Rashford's performance is worrying. It is genuinely worrying, and we need Greenwood to play more. It's as simple as that, and we'll get to his performances as I said. For me, Daniel James had a very good game. He was a constant nuisance from that side. He's very direct. He kept running at the left side, and I think Mata, although I did not fancy him starting, didn't want him to start, he played really well. I think he linked up with Daniel James very well, and there were instances, a lot in the instances where he was giving orders, he was ushering Daniel James on, he was speaking to Daniel James, and that's something that I think we need. Daniel James is still young, he's inexperienced, he needs an experienced player next to him telling him what to do, and his goal came through exactly that, where Mata made the run on the outside and Daniel James just ran through, made space, and it was a powerful shot. He cut in from the left and onto his right foot. Daniel James has now scored 3 goals in 4 games, and I think that's a very good return. I do believe he will get better, but I don't believe he'll get better in this current team, because there's no leadership, there is no guidance for him. They're all still young. The one that's old either wants to leave the club or not good enough to be at the club or at the bench. As simple as that. Do you really think Lingard is a good tutor for Daniel James? Do you think Pogba, who wants to leave, is a good tutor for Daniel James? Do you think Rashford, who's what, 22, 21, is a good tutor for Daniel James? None of them are. And that's probably where our biggest worry is, aside from the results. Results can go either way, but I think if there is no leadership on the field, you can be 2-3-0 up and we can still lose the game because there is no leadership to control the game, tell everyone what to do, because we were just running around headless, isn't it? I did tweet in the first half that we did okay, we played well in the first half as always, but we needed that second goal, and that was the same case with against Wolves away, and we just didn't get the second goal and we got punished for it. And that's exactly what has happened. I'm going to go through a few of the stats before I come back to the lineup. So stats-wise, you can see we were dominant in possession. We had a lot more shots, but I do not remember, aside from Mason Greenwood coming on and taking that shot, any clear-cut chances. Didn't have many corners. They were fouling us, but that's expected. They were dropping in deep. But credit to Southampton. They've worked really hard. In terms of Oli, let's look at his subs. That's where I was really disappointed in. I think I raised my eyebrow when Oli bought on Matic and Lingard, 2 of the worst possible players to bring on from that bench at a crucial time. On the 68th minute, he bought on Lingard and Matic. Mata was playing really well up until then, but when you have on the bench the likes of Greenwood, Chong, why aren't we bringing these players on? We all know Lingard had a very poor month, poor year. And to be honest, when he came on, he didn't do anything. He didn't literally do anything. Somebody tell me he did something. He did not do anything. He had less of an impact than what Mata had in that time frame, right? Mata should have just stayed on, I reckon. I think he would have unlocked defenses. He is the closest to a good set piece taker we have. Ashley Young's set piece taking is crap. Rashford is crap. Pogba is unacceptable. Then that's the first bit of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's gripe I have with him. The second bit I have with him is he's taken off when they've got a red card. There was still about 15-20 minutes to go in the game. We waited a fair amount of time before making a call of bringing on Greenwood. Greenwood came on the 82nd minute. That's 8 minutes. What is he gonna do in 8 minutes? He showed a glimpse, like one glimpse where he kind of cut in and shot, and keeper made a good save. But why is he coming? It's unfair on him to be coming on towards the end of the game with so much pressure, very little time to make an impact, let alone score. And that's why I felt Ole should be held accountable for. He should not be held accountable for the players that he has got on his bench, the formation we're playing, and the philosophy we're trying to get in terms of pressing. He should be held accountable for two things, in my opinion. One is the substitutions, and that's not the first time this season already we have talked about his substitutions, the timings of his substitutions. And two, I forgot what was two. Two, you're bringing on players like Matic, for matter. You're bringing on Lingard still when you've got Greenwood on the bench, when you've got Chong on the bench. Just give these kids a chance. You look at Daniel James, he's grasping that chance. You look at Greenwood, he came on and immediately had a very good chance, which the keeper kept it out. Why aren't we giving these guys a chance in terms of more playing time? Why aren't we even starting them? What has Matic got to do with coming on in a game where Southampton have lost 2 of the 3 games? They are the battering boys. They're one of the clubs to potentially get relegated. And they had a red card, and we bring on Matic and Lingard where we had Chong and Greenwood in the bench. It just doesn't make sense, and that's what I feel Ole should be held responsible for. I bet he's come out in the press conference and smiling and I haven't read his press conference yet. Not looking forward to reading his press conference because I'm done today with United after seeing that performance. But I bet he'll come up and say the usual crap he said in the last few press conferences. We had a lot of chance, we were not good enough. But it was okay, we were not good enough, so what are you doing about it? You're still playing Matic, you're still playing Lingard, you're still playing the likes of Mata on the starting bench. Just young, fair enough. You have to play young because we don't have any fullbacks. Dalot's injured, Damian's sold, Luke Shaw's injured. The only other fullback we have is Wan-Bissaka. So I get that. But there is no excuses for you to be starting Pereira on the right side. He's not a right midfielder. Mata still, although he had a decent game, and Matic and Lingard coming on as our super saviour subs when we've got Chong and Greenwood on the bench. It just doesn't make sense. When they got a player sent off, why were we still playing with the flat back four? Why couldn't we just take one of the back fours off, play 3 at the back, and put another attacker on? There was no need to stick with the same formation and the same know-how players. The same players which Ole did say last season that they will not be here. He'll be successful. You'll be interested in, you'll be excited to see or whatever, the players that, you'll be surprised to see all the players that's coming in. Nothing's come in yet. We needed, yes, we're giving chance to the youth. Bravo, fantastic. But we need a couple of more players to be built around the youth. People talk about the class of 92, but with the class of 92, you still had Bruce, you still had Schmeichel, you still had Giggs, who's made his debut long before that. He was well established by the time these class of 92 boys came in. You still had 3-4 top players to guide these players. We do not even have one. Maguire just came into the club. De Gea still hasn't signed a contract. He's probably not going to stay, especially after today. I don't think he'll stay. And that's the biggest disappointment I have in Ole. And it's not his fault that the board didn't give him the players. And it's great that he got rid of some of the deadwood. But yes, you got rid of the deadwoods, but you're still playing the remaining deadwoods ahead of what you say is, we should be playing youth. There'll be more responsibility on them. So what? You give Greenwood responsibility for 8 minutes to come on in such a pressure time. And he's got 8 minutes to make a difference when people like Lingard, who hasn't done anything for the whole year, and he came on the 68th minute. So what responsibilities are you talking about? What chances are you talking about in terms of the players that you want to give a chance to? Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, what you feel about that. They've got a red card on the 73rd minute. Fair enough. We made a substitute before that. but then we waited a solid almost 10 minutes to bring Greenwood on, when we had practically two defensive midfielders and a flat back four still on the field against the 10 men. We had McTominay still in the bench, in the pitch, and Matic has come on. Pogba played slightly more forward, but it should be, let them two sit, take off a Young maybe, or a Lindelof who they're clearly targeting. Keep Maguire, Bissaka, Young at the back, play Matic and McTominay as a holding defensive midfielder, and let everyone else push forward. And it just didn't happen until the very end, and we deserve that. Southampton, credit to them, they have worked their socks off, and unfortunately, if they had a bit more quality, I reckon they would have got a second goal. We didn't have a clear-cut chances. You look back, there was no clear-cut chances. We are not creating enough chances. We are leaking goals at the back. I think I was reading a stat where we didn't have a clean sheet for God knows how long. Last clean sheet we had was against Chelsea, but in between that, for the whole year, we didn't have a clean sheet for 18 games or something. Don't quote me on it, but something like that. It's worrying. It's worrying. Definitely worrying. So we can't keep a clean sheet. We can't score. So where is the progression that we're supposed to be making? At least we should be improving in one aspect already. They've had a long preseason together. We played a few more games already in the season. It's the same thing, same crappy players that Ollie's going back into, who in time after time has let him down and the club down. Lingard, Matic. Simple as that. My man of the match personally is Daniel James. Obviously the overall man of the match was given to Vestergaard. I think he had a fantastic game, the centre back that scored. He was immense at the back for them. But personally, obviously, with my match reviews, I want to stick to United players, and I think Daniel James deserved the man of the match for us. Not only did he score, I think he had a very good game. The guidance he had from Mata in the field was very good. He acted upon some of the instructions that Mata was giving him. Every time he had the ball, it looks like he was the only one that was going to make things happen. He was running at the their right back, and he was very, very, very direct. Suarez, I'm sure their right back will probably just be glad that the game is over. And Daniel James did have a good game. I think if he continues like this, I think he'll be a very good player. He's got 3 goals in 4 games for us already, and he's a championship player. Whereas you got some players who's costed £70 million and still hasn't scored, but they're the next best thing. That's how it works, isn't it? But personally, for me, Mason Greenwood should have come in and be given a chance more. Let me know, you guys. Get in touch with the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think Mason Greenwood was again denied an opportunity to come on and have enough time to make an impact? He came on the 82nd minute today, didn't have enough time to make an impact. Before that, he came on he was given like less than 10 minutes again. He didn't have time to make impact. Rashford playing like a trash, and he's not doing very well. And Pereira on the right side. Why are we playing Pereira on the right side? I would have loved to see Greenwood and Pereira swap positions. I mean, Greenwood should start and Pereira should come on. That way you got a bit of a rotation going. Lingard should not even be considered unless we got an injury. And then we still have Matic, people like Matic still at the club, still coming on the field on crucial matches. We are now, let me just go to the table. So this is the BBC website. I haven't read all that. So on the table as it stands, obviously there's games going on. We are on 7th position. We played 4 games and we are on 5 points. We lost points in Crystal Palace and we lost points today. That's what we gained 1 point in the last 2 games. We lost 5 points, guys, and it's already 4 games in the season. We go into the we go into now the international break with a very bitter taste in our mouth, in my opinion. I would have loved to got a big victory today, which we were capable of, and gone into the international break thinking, okay, we've got a win, let's build on that. It's positive, right? Now we are going to have to wait a few more weeks to come out, and we got Leicester at home, who's winning today at 2-1. They've got very, very strong midfield, it looks like, and I don't know what to say. and I'll probably be most likely will be going to that match. But I don't know what to say, guys. You know, it's so disappointing. I'm just glad. The only good thing about today is the game was a 12:30 p.m. kickoff, which meant that misery is done. Like, the game's finished by 2 p.m. I've still got the whole Saturday to enjoy myself, right? Imagine the game was on a Sunday, or even today at 3 or 5 p.m. I would have lost half a day waiting for the game, then half a day just, you know, watching the game, and we come up with performances like that, and that's it. That's my weekend gone. But at least now I can, you know, look back and, you know, it's done, dusted, done my match review previews, dust it off. Be very disappointed again. We'll be going to different channels to see what your guys' thoughts are, especially the ones that I'm subscribed to. So we'll be coming around and kind of interacting with you guys. And as always, guys, you know, if you want to stay up to date with all Manchester United news, transfer news, speculation, match reviews, previews, match day vlogs, stats, analysis, everything related to Manchester United, do consider hitting the subscribe button. I upload videos on a daily basis. And as always, guys, I catch you guys in the next upload.